lines, a lot of traveling, a lot of shopping. But many of us are very, very careless when it comes to our safety during this Yuletide season. That's what we'll be looking at on the program at this moment, how we can ensure safety during this festive period. And we have a public safety and well-being expert joining us in the studio this morning, Adeyinka Adebiyi. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Compliment of the season.
Same to you.
All right. Before we go into the basic elements of safety during this festive season, where we are going to have a lot of buying and selling and traveling, have you discovered over the years that people are always in a rush anytime it is November, December? And then maybe the proper way to start this morning is to start by asking you that why this rush towards the end of the year?
Thank you very much. You see, there's need to sensitize the public that there's nothing like evil when it comes to the last quarter of every year. The society believes that at this period, October to December, there's a particular evil that would rear its head. That is not true. And I'll tell you why. A driver who flies Lagos to Ibadan between January, February, March, by the time we are getting to the ember months, we have more people traveling.
Okay.
And he would not, check his vehicle any longer because he has to, pick passengers to Ibadan about 4 times. Before, he was going 1 or 2 times. But now we have more passengers that are flying Ibadan, for instance. So he doesn't check his vehicle any longer because he has to pick passengers. Hence, accident occur because the vehicle has been overused.
Wear and tear.
Yeah, so he has no time to check his vehicle and take to the mechanic for repairs. So that is one aspect. You see, we should be wary of this period. Although I said there's nothing like evil that comes around here, but we are too, there's negligence of our people. People are so careless and we are too much in a hurry. And that is why, in most cases, accidents occur on our roads because there's no time to check our vehicles. We have to carry passengers here and there, the influx of passengers. So that is the main thing.
Okay, there will be a lot of buying and selling, like I said earlier, during this period. So people will be visiting shopping malls, people will do a lot of trips, a lot of shopping. What are those basic measures that we need to put in place during this season?
Yeah, you see, yesterday I was at Ikeja Mall, and I saw the influx of people, holiday, people coming visiting the place. Now, there's what we call ability to conduct brief risk assessment. And by conducting that, where I'm going, there's so many people. Where are the ways out? Where are the ways in?
Exits.
Exit ways. You see, that you have to know first. In case of emergency, you can be able to assess the route. The way out. In most cases, people do not do that.
Look at what happened in Ibadan yesterday.
That's unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate situation. We need to look at the space that we are going to occupy. Does this space as square can contain this large number of people? So you see, for you to go to a shopping mall, for instance, you need to look at, that space. Can I enter to this place? If an emergency occurs, can I be able to leave this place unscratched? So that is the issue. So we need to conduct brief risk assessment of where we are going. So can I go here? I was also at the cinema there also, and I saw that so many people, and there was only one way in.
So if you are saying that those that will be visiting the malls or the cinemas should be conscious, what about the owners of the malls? What are the safety measures that they will need to put in place?
See, fortunately, I work with Lagos State Safety Commission, and that's why we are retired. Lagos State Safety Commission has that power to ensure that all these malls, marketplaces, and public places, they conduct risk assessment and ensure that all the recommendations given are followed. If anything happens, the owner of the mall, or the public place will be held responsible. So in most cases, Safety Commission has been doing that, and they have not relented. They're still doing it.
But what recommendations do you give to them?
Number one, they should continue to conduct this assessment. Number one. Two, they must not, entertain, more people than necessary. That's one thing. Because if there are so many people and you have a very, a small space for them, it's an issue. So there's need to either disallow people from going in if the inside is filled up already. If not, if an emergency occurs, how do they exit the place? So that is why we see injuries and accidents occurring in most cases in these malls, because the space is so small, and we have large, particularly this period where we have this festive period. So people will be going, entering and going and entering. How do we ensure that people, are not injured in case of emergency? That's number one. Another thing that they should do as the owner of the space, of the public space, is to, see to it that Safety Commission comes in there at least twice or thrice, particularly this period, to ensure that all those things you put in place are still there and can still allow people to exit in case of an emergency.
Okay, aside from the malls and the cinemas now, there will be a lot of shows, concerts in different parts of the state. For those ones who might want to organize concerts or shows, what are the basic things of safety that they need to put in place as well?
Still the same that I'm talking about, risk assessment. I'm not aware that most of these spaces, they have, they engage the service of, a safety expert. If they do not, Lagos Safety Commission is there for them. They can write to Lagos Safety Commission to come and conduct risk assessment for them. Having conducted the risk assessment, it becomes safer for every occupant of that place. For instance, I've not seen churches,
having crusade,
inviting Safety Commission to conduct this assessment. Do they even have in place, safety experts? Or safety
but if they are not coming, isn't it the duty of the Safety Commission to go and meet them?
They do. That's what I'm saying. They do. But the question is, how will they know? Because they will not. That's why we said you need to write to the Safety Commission to come and conduct risk assessment in your space, because people come in there. You are not the only person that is going to be there, and the safety of human life is what Safety Commission is all about.
Okay, we have said so much about malls, cinemas, and of course event places generally. Before I go to my next question, my colleague over there, Adebimpe, has some question for you.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This safety measures, beyond the Yuletide season, is it something that is often done with this event centers, and also the malls, and how often should these safety measures be done, like an exercise in all of these places?
Thank you very much. You see, when Lagos State Safety Commission was established in 2011, it is in the law that, as their mandate, that they should visit all public spaces, including event centers. You will recall during the virus, the
COVID-19.
You cannot hold parties in event centers without taking permission, approval from the Lagos State Commission. And it's still there. So, you see, for every event center, and for every event to be held in any event center, you need to take permission from the Lagos State Safety Commission that this place has been certified
to be safe
for occupants,
Okay.
particularly for that particular party. So, if you, for instance, your event center takes in 1,000, guests
Capacity.
at that period, you need to reduce it to half of it. Then crowd control But the issue is crowd control. In case of emergency, it is not the the incident that I mean the accident that kills, but the stampede that follows the emergency situation. So that is why, for every event center, for instance, there's need to ensure that you conduct risk assessment. Then you have adequate exits
Points.
and you need to do what we call there's what we call safety moment. From time to time, you need to keep on reminding those at the party that these are the exit ways. We have restrooms here. We have first aid
exits.
here, and all of that. So there's need to have this, and safety commission is doing this from time to time. I was there. I worked there.
Okay.
And they have a department, that is, that has that as their schedule.
Okay.
I have a question. So mine is for places of worship. Now, we have the churches, the mosques. How are they being carried along on what to do, what to know to do? I know a few churches, like my church, that ensures that they have these safety measures in place. We have ambulances and, exits every here and there. But some other places of worship, you don't get to see that. So do they even know that they should have these things in place?
They know.
Are you sure?
Let me tell you.
Okay.
When I was in service, I was invited to talk to, there's this program organized by Ministry of Home Affairs for the Muslims and Christians.
Religious bodies.
Religious bodies. I was there. And you see, we told them the mandate of Lagos State Safety Commission, number one. Number two, your churches and your mosques and all your worship centers, do you have adequate exit ways? Well, that's number one. And when you say you have exit ways for people to go out in case of emergency, do you put signages there for them to even identify this is the way out and this is the way out? For them to now to
comply.
Comply is another thing. Of course, at times it might be difficult for safety commission to go and close up a church and say, okay, because you're not having this, you begin to have stories and all of that. So we do that from time to time. They do that. I've left this. They do that. So as I speak, there's a committee that is going around all the major markets in Lagos State to sensitize them on safety, particularly fire incident in the market. Every at this period you see stories of market getting burnt and all of that.
I love the fact that you mentioned some marketplaces in your discussion while answering Joy's question. Amatan is here, and of course we've seen fire incidents in some part of Lagos. So for our marketplaces now, what are the safety measures that they need to put in place?
Yeah, I would again,
because whether we like it or not,
I understand.
there will be some emergencies.
Of course. You see, when I was with the commission, we visited this market in at Balogun Market, and we discovered that some people are putting generator in their shop, and while still on,
some will see refuel while the generator is on.
So all of this is tantamount to having fire incident. Now we go there, we tell them you don't have to store petroleum products in your store, because number one, there could be ignition points around, sockets are opened, a spark will cause a fire. So we sensitize them, and all other cables, you must pass them through a conduit pipe so that it is not exposed. At times you see some cables that are opened, a spark could cause a fire, because inside the same store they have generator there and fuel there. So all of these are things that we do tell them. And again, there is safety risk assessment being carried out by one and only Lagos State Commission to ensure that our markets are also safe. Because when it happens, they'll say, oh, it's government, a government will come and give them money, I love that. Why should government continue to give them money when you cannot, carelessness, ignorance.
But ignorance is not an excuse under the law.
It is not, but you tell them, they stick to the same thing. So that is why, as I speak, a team is, running around with, in collaboration with fire service to ensure that our markets are safe from, fire and all of that. So they do that.
Okay, so a lot of people will be traveling during this season. Aside from the commercial vehicles now, people will be doing private trips as well. What are those safety measures that they also need to consider before embarking on any trip?
Thank you. That's a very good question.
Especially the commercial ones.
I will tell you. Let's go to the private ones. Before you engage your vehicle, there's need for you to walk around your vehicle. What are you checking? You are checking whether there is a liquid dropping. Number two, you also want to ensure that there's nothing behind the vehicle before you start driving it out. Or nothing is slipping under the vehicle, perhaps your domestic animal. So once you check that, then you open your bonnet. What are you checking? The coolant, the lube oil, the battery terminals, and other things. Then, when that is okay, you enter into your car. You switch on. You, again, have to set your mirrors. 3 mirrors, the inner mirror, the side mirrors. What are you checking there? You want to check whether you can still see a vehicle coming behind you by the time you start driving. We call it blind spots. But at times, you may not even see that the vehicle is, behind you while you are driving.
Until it gets close to you.
Until it gets close. So you need to set the mirrors first. Then you enter into your vehicle, check your horn, check your full light, every other thing that will make your journey safe. Then you can drive. Now the question is this: why do vehicles stop on the road? It is because you are not maintaining it, and you're not doing the checks that you are supposed to check before you drive out. So you have to do all of that. Then speed limit. The Federal Road Safety Commission has speed limit for every road, highway, express road, truncate roads. They have speed limit for trucks, for cars, and for buses. That is for the private
vehicles.
Now,
for the commercial ones.
The commercial ones.
Because they're always in a rush.
You see, that's my intro. That's what I said for my intro. Because they want to make money. They have forgotten that making money is one, and to stay alive to spend that money is another thing. At this period, I'm aware that another radio station in Lagos, in collaboration with other agencies of government, go around the garages, bus stops, and talk to these drivers. Another thing is those that are selling this alcohol and all of this is in the
garage,
motor parks. Who ensures they are no longer there? Give me a shot. 1, 2, they start driving.
The weather is cold.
Some even take it while they are driving.
So that is the issue. And the best thing to take while driving is what? Is water.
Water. Even with this weather, you need to take a lot of water from time to time.
So again, they should also check their tires. You see, if engine, develops on the road, it stops. But if you are on perhaps 100 kilometers per hour and your tire bursts, it's an issue. But those vulcanizers on the road, that is another issue. You go to a vulcanizer. Please, just inflate my tire. It doesn't even know the pressure that's supposed to be there. It doesn't know. Because most of them don't even go to school. So, and once they look at the vehicle, oh, this is Jeep, it's 50. It's 50. They put 50 or 60 there.
And once the pressure is too much.
Yeah, no, I'm coming. Now, once they do that, I want you to just do this. Go. I start going. So we need also to sensitize those roadside, vulcanizers too. But they contribute, to accidents on our roads, particularly to, these commercial bus drivers.
Okay, I want to ask about, a follow-up to what you've talked about. People go about, sensitizing these drivers, and I haven't seen much difference. Would you agree if I say that, penalties should now be introduced, just to drive home the message?
You see, penalties are there already. There are penalties there already. Federal Road Safety Corps, for instance, if you overspeed, they'll charge you.
Commercial buses?
Yes. What? That is what we presume to be happening, though.
I know about the private cars, about private vehicles. I'm
I
particular
I operate commercial bus. For hiring.
Okay.
And when the vehicle was coming, the federal road stopped, the driver and asked him, "Where is your what is it?
Fire extinguisher.
No, speed limit." I have all those in my car.
Okay.
In my car, in my bus, I have them. He now asked, "Where's your speed limit?" Or, of course, I don't even have that. But I was asking, where do we get that? Who, produces that? I couldn't get answer to that. That nonetheless, we can even get that. But the question is, your question is, are there penalties? There are penalties.
And who is enforcing these laws?
Enforcing them.
For roads, Federal Road Safety Corps do that. And of course, we also know that our Lagos
LASMA?
LASMA, of course, they do that too. So the fear of LASMA in Lagos is the beginning of wisdom. So you need to drive sensibly in Lagos.
Okay. There'll be a lot of fireworks during the season. And of course, people have raised concerns about their safety because of these fireworks. So as parents, as CDCs, as CDAs, what should we put in place, or how do we sensitize these children on the need for them to be very, very careful while handling these fireworks?
Number one, there is a law already existing in Lagos that there shouldn't be fireworks.
How about people still use fireworks?
But I'm telling you,
And it
there's
is
a
being-
law.
and
And I'm sure you're also aware that fireworks have been banned in Lagos.
I see Eddie last night too.
Good. But if they now want to use, the best way to use it is do not throw fireworks in somebody's compound.
Okay.
Do not throw fireworks under a stationary or moving vehicle.
Very cool.
And again, you don't have to hold fireworks and allow it to explode in your hand. That does not mean that you can use firework. Like I said, it has been banned in Lagos.
Okay.
But parents are advised to, sensitize their children not to engage in the use of fireworks.
But this
I just want to,
they are sold openly.
I just want us to be very, very realistic because in every part of Lagos State now,
Yes.
there is firework
I
everywhere.
hear it too. Of course, I hear it too.
Yeah.
But you see, one, it's been banned. But if, like I said, you have to use fireworks, you have to use it to where you don't throw it to where people are gathering or somebody's house.
Or where there's a generator.
Where there's a
that is on.
generator, yes. So you don't have to do that. So that I know. But you see, there's a way. I don't know. These children of these days, you tell them don't do this, they continue to do it. But the question is, who is selling the fireworks? I think we should start from there. So, who is selling the fireworks?
So if we are going to
Can
start,
we go and impound the fireworks?
if we are going to start from there, shouldn't that be the responsibility of government?
Government, yeah.
It should be, of course. It should be. But who lets the cat?
Okay, in this part of the world, we have seen that oftentimes when there is crisis or stampede, people are always anxious, and the way and manner at which they manage themselves is always risky. In case there's any danger somewhere now, or there's an emergency, how should people conduct themselves?
That's a very good question. You see, for every event that you have more than 5 people attending, there's need to conduct what we call a safety moment. And what do you do at safety moment? You let them know that in this place that you are, if there is an emergency, please don't, how do you put it now?
Don't rush.
No, there's this word I want to use, not even rush now.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. It is the panic that creates the issue now. So if you tell them don't panic, just stand up and walk briskly. Don't even run. You may even fall, and stampede could, could cause another issue. So don't panic. Just stand up from wherever you are. Then go through any of the exits available to the muster point. So you now ask me, do we have muster point in most of these public places? No. So where do people now gather if there's an emergency? Is another issue. So, for instance, in Alausa Secretariat now, we have muster points, for each of the blocks,
Okay.
where people will go and assemble if there is an emergency. We have that. But what about in other public places? Do they have muster points or assembly point? I mean, where people can even go and gather for head count. So the question now is, don't rush. Don't be in a hurry. Just stand up from wherever you are, walk out in any of the exits point that has been provided out of the place in case of emergency. That is the best way to do it.
Okay, just before I allow you go this morning, for those parents who will be taking their children to for the Christmas grotto, how careful should they be?
Well, see, we have seen some of what happened
In Ibadan?
in Ibadan now. And but unfortunately, you see that people will now say, in Jesus' name, that will not happen to me. That's what they will say. And I'm sure those children that were involved had even said that it never it won't happen to them. The question now is this: once you discover that the place marked for that program, do we have places that looking at the number of the children that are there, can I take my child to this place? You have to think twice. Considering the incident that happened now, can I take my child or my children to this place? No, I won't. So many people. Where do they go out from in case of emergency? Who's ensuring their safety? Do we even have, first aider that were turned to any victim? Do we have? No. Are there ambulances available that will convey victims to nearest hospital? No. I'm not taking my child to this place. You need to find out all of this from the organizers before you now take your child there.
Okay.
Do you have, emergency preparedness plan for these children? If they don't take your child there.
All right. We must thank you very much, Adeyinka Adebi, public safety and well-being expert, for educating us on those safety measures that we need to put in place for this Yuletide season, especially when it comes to going to malls, event places, and of course, those children that will be visiting Father Christmas Grotto. We thank you very much for your time on the program. And do remember to always call 767 or 112 anytime there's an emergency during this season. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, the Lagos ladies will be taking you through what they have for you today.